We are back. Krusty Case from the Global Boys Network here. Had a bit of a lightning issue, but hey, when you're hot, I guess, right? Coming to you with the May 5th MLB slate preview. I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Sleeper Picks. But let's hop right into this slate. The first one on the slate is the Colorado Rockies taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. This is Ryan Feltner versus Bailey Falter. As we've seen in the game yesterday, neither of these teams hit, so this game has the potential to be quite the snooze fest. Bailey Falter, not great, but I think here you back the Pirates. I think you back Falter. I think he can pitch well against this Rockies team, who's just been absolutely abysmal. I mean, even worse than the Pirates are right now. Falter, he's pitching extremely well this season, a lot better than I think a lot of people expected. And I think that continues here. The Rockies team with WRC plus below 70, they're just not hitting. So I think Falter can pitch well here. I think he can keep the Pirates in this game. It's probably going to be low scoring. My favorite spot, though, I'd say Pirates money line. I think they get it done again. Next one is the Detroit Tigers taking on the New York Yankees. This is Tariq Skubal versus Nestor Cortez. So you get two teams here below league average against left-handed pitching. Nothing special from either one. I think Tigers are around 100 WRC plus and the Yankees are around 97. So I mean, very similar. Walking close to 10% for each of them. For me here, though, I think you go with the Tigers. You get Skubal, you get the ace on the mound, and he's just one of those guys who you want to back. This Yankees team, like I said, not great against left-handed pitching. They're not striking out a ton either, sub 20%. But when you look at the lefties they faced, I mean, Skubal is going to be far and above the best one they've seen, and I think that he has the absolute potential to mow this lineup down. He's really good at not walking hitters, really good at attacking the strike zone, and ultimately against this Yankees team, that's what you need to do, because they're going to take pitches, they're going to try and drive your pitch count up, but against a guy like Skubal who attacks the zone, it makes it kind of impossible for them to do that. So I like Skubal case here, and I like the Tigers to win. Tigers on the money line. Our next one is the Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Washington Nationals. This is Alek Manoah versus Mackenzie Gore. And yes, that is the Alek Manoah. Hasn't pitched at all yet this season in the majors. Barely pitched last season. This guy has been a shell of the, I think he was like 6th in the Cy Young voting in 2021. Has not looked anywhere close to that since. So for me here, he has pitched pretty well as of late in the minors, but I just think he struggles here. He's going to be a ball of nerves, and we've seen this guy try to do this a couple times last season, and he's a bit of a head case. And so in this spot, I think he's just be so in his head. You get a Nationals team who, while they're not great against right-handed pitching, they do have guys who put the ball in play, and against a guy like Manoah who can get into his own head, that's all he's going to need is base runners and traffic to just absolutely crumble. So I like a Washington team total here. I think they can run it up on him. I don't have any interest in backing Washington in terms of a side, because I do think Toronto can get to Gore as well, but I do like the Washington team total as my best look on this one. Our next one is the Los Angeles Angels taking on the Cleveland Guardians. This is Griffin Canning versus Carlos Carrasco. This one here, you got a couple of my guys who I would call the certified turkey tossers, as you guys know I talk about. Both these guys definitely can give it up. I'm a little unsure about trusting the Angels. I do lean to the over for the game, but I might get in with a Cleveland team total over. It's just tough to trust this Angels team with no Trout. I know that they haven't looked terrible, but I don't know. I feel like the offense is just inconsistent. So I'll go with the Guardians team total here against Canning. Not a big Canning guy at all. 5+ ERA. I believe he's allowed 4 earned runs in like 3 of his last 4 starts. So give me the Guardians team total. Our next one is the New York Mets taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. This is Luis Severino versus Ryan Pepiot. You guys know I'm a big Pepiot guy. This is a tricky matchup for him, though. This Mets team, overall, doesn't strike out a ton. They have looked a little more, I guess, K-able, for lack of a better term. Littell, I believe, had 7 in his start against them yesterday. So I'm all leaning to Pepiot over his Ks. I don't love it. He's a fastball changeup guy. I don't think that that's going to play as well as the slider-splitter combo that Littell likes to run. So don't love it. On the other side, though, Severino, I love his strikeouts here. This Tampa Bay team is just so free-swinging, super aggressive, but they don't make a lot of contact. They're last in whiff rate in the last 14 days. So Severino, pretty good at missing bats, and I think he can absolutely run his strikeouts up here. In terms of the side, I do lean to the Mets. I think Severino has a much better chance of holding down this Tampa Bay team. And like I said, I just think with their aggressiveness at the plate, Severino is really going to be able to pitch well here. Our next one is the Boston Red Sox taking on the Minnesota Twins. This is Cooper Criswell versus Joe Ryan. This is the same thing we've been seeing with Cooper Criswell. He's going to probably pitch 4 innings. He'll turn it over to the pen. They did just have a bullpen game today, so I'm a little curious how that's going to go here. I'm guessing they're going to have some sort of scheduled, maybe like a long reliever of sorts, but I haven't seen anything confirmed yet. But Joe Ryan, though, is a tough spot. He does give up quite a few home runs, so it's always a bit of a concern. Boston is the #1 hitting team in baseball currently against right-handed pitching. So I'm going to look at Boston team total. It's a little scary because obviously Joe Ryan has the potential to shut a team down. But I just think with his history of getting up home runs, he trusts his fastball a little too much. And while it's good, it's not great. And I think you're going to see guys on this Boston team be able to hit it. You know, Devers, Tyler O'Neill, guys like that. They can handle the fastball pretty well. And I just think that they can get to Joe Ryan here. So give me the Boston team total over. Our next one is the Seattle Mariners taking on the Houston Astros. This is Bryce Miller versus Hunter Brown. And we all know that when I see Hunter Brown on the slate, I'm immediately going to their team. I am taking their team total. I don't like Hunter Brown. He has not looked good this season. And as much as they keep trying to tell you that he's going to adjust, it has not happened. And the Seattle team is not the team that I see it happening against. He probably still going to cover his strikeouts because Seattle is just striking out at an insane rate, still close to 30% at this point in the season. But I do think Seattle could put up some runs. So I do like Seattle team total. I do like Seattle as a side too. Bryce Miller has been outstanding. And this Astros team, while they're a dangerous lineup, they do have a tendency to swing early in at bats and kind of just get into some soft contact, ground ball type stuff. So I do expect Bryce Miller to pitch well, and I think Seattle can just do what they want against Hunter Brown. So even if Houston does score a few runs, I think Seattle wins this one no problem. So Seattle money line or team total, I think both are great looks here. Our next one is the Texas Rangers taking on the Kansas City Royals. This is John Gray, and as we sit here right now, the Royals have not announced a starter for this game. So it's a little tough to say that I want to back Kansas City, but pending starting pitcher, I'd have to see who it is. I would look at Kansas City here. I'm not a big John Gray guy. Mixed bag of this season. He's been hurt twice already, I believe, neck injury, and then something with, I believe, his shoulder. So always a concern with him. He does pitch well against teams that strike out quite a bit and teams that you can kind of just keep funneling sliders and getting them to chase outside the zone. This Royals team is not that though. They've been extremely disciplined at the plate, sub 15% K rate, and I just think that they can get to him here. So I do like the Royals in some capacity. It could be a potential team total spot, but I'm likely looking at a Kansas City money line pending the starter. Our next one is the Chicago White Sox taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. This is Garrett Crochet and Kyle Gibson. It feels weird to sit here and say that I like the White Sox, but I like the White Sox. You get a Cardinals team not hitting left-handed pitching at all. WRC plus of just 76 over the last 2 weeks. Sub 200 batting average. While they're not striking out a ton, again, haven't seen a pitcher like Crochet. So I think his strikeouts could be in play depending on the line. On the other side, Kyle Gibson, he just gives it up. He's going to go 6 innings, but he's going to give up some runs. And I just think that this White Sox team can get this one. I'll probably back them in the first 5. I like the White Sox first 5. I just think it's a better look because you can trust Crochet. You don't have to worry about the bullpen, which is absolutely terrible. And I think the White Sox, although they're not a great lineup, they're putting the ball in play right now, and they've been extremely pesky at the plate. So give me the White Sox first 5. It's kind of gross, but I'll back Crochet here.
What's going on, everybody? I just want to take this moment to give a special shout out to our sponsor, Sleeper Picks. Thank you for sponsoring this video, and don't forget you can use code GOLDBOYS for a $500 deposit match on your first deposit. Thank you, Sleeper Picks, for sponsoring this video. Now back to the bets.
Our next one is the Milwaukee Brewers taking on the Chicago Cubs. This is Freddie Peralta versus Javier Assad. We all know that I'm a big Freddie Peralta guy. So here for me, it's Milwaukee or nothing. Assad has been very good, don't get me wrong. But I just love backing Freddie Peralta. Guy is outstanding. He's having a tremendous year this season. I love him in pretty much every capacity in this particular spot. You get a Cubs team with a 27% K rate with right-hand pitching over the last 2 weeks. I think Peralta Ks are in play. I will likely play it in some capacity like a Altus, 5 or 6 Ks in a win, depending on what the odds are once they come out. But I like either Milwaukee in the money line or a Peralta player performance double.
Wait, before we get back to the picks, I wanted to thank you all for watching. Friends don't let friends watch videos without hitting the like button. So go ahead and press the thumbs up button and like the video. If you're new here and not subscribed, you should go ahead and do so because we're dropping new content each and every day on the Gold Boys Network. We strive to cover every sport and give out picks and analysis and valuable information for free on the Gold Boys Network. So make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell so you can get notified when we drop something new. I'm Brad Thomas. Let's get back to the picks.
Our next one is the Miami Marlins taking on the Oakland Athletics. This is Sixto Sanchez versus Joe Boyle. Marlins continue to trot out Sixto Sanchez because they don't have a choice. They have so many injuries to the rotation and just pitching staff in general. Even the guys who they brought in to replace the injured guys are now hurt. So Sixto Sanchez is going to be a staple in this rotation, probably for the foreseeable future, and he is terrible. He was once a top prospect, been hurt a bunch. Velocity is kind of coming back, actually, but he just is not missing bats. And this Oakland team, surprisingly, is really starting to hit. They're 500 right now, which I don't think anybody expected, and I think they get it done here. Boyle's a little concerning because his command is a bit all over the place, but you get a Miami team who just traded a Rise a couple days ago, and they're really scuffling. Offensively, they're not hitting at all. WRC plus below 80, and I just think that Boyle can, have a nice outing here. It's a good matchup for him to find success because you're getting a team that just can't hit. As long as he can keep the walks, relatively in check, I think he'll be just fine. And I think Oakland can get to Sixto, so give me Oakland on the money line. The next one is the Atlanta Braves taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers. This is Max Fried versus James Paxton. And this one for me, I'm going Braves. I like the matchup here for Fried. Obviously, Dodgers are a bit scary. Could easily light them up, but I think that Fried pitches well enough to get this one done. Paxton on the other side just has not been good. You're getting a Braves team that's finally starting to figure it out at the plate. Bats are starting to heat up, and I think they absolutely smash Paxton. So if you're not comfortable taking a side, I think a Braves team total is 100% in play. But for me, I like to back the Braves here. To give me the Braves on the money line. Like I said, if you can't get there, team total works too. Next one is the Baltimore Orioles taking on Cincinnati Reds. This is Dean Kramer versus Nick Lodolo. Nick Lodolo, absolute stud. Actually, good matchup for him here. You get an Orioles team who is hitting left-handed pitching relatively well. They've had a big-time strikeout issue, though. We just saw Abbott have a ton of success against them today, and I think Lodolo can have that same success. So I like Lodolo's strikeouts. I think it's probably one of my favorite looks in this game. In terms of a side or anything, though, I do like a first 5 under. I think Lodolo could pitch well. I would like to trust him in the first 5 rather than trust the full game under with the Reds bullpen. But I think Kramer on the other side could pitch well enough too. You get a Reds team not really hitting that well. So I think Kramer in the first 5. I mean, it's always a bit scary, but I think you can hold him down. Give me a first 5 under here. Our next one is the San Diego Padres taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. This is Matt Waldron versus Ryan Nelson. Waldron, knuckleballer, not great. It's when you're a knuckleballer, I don't know what you can truly expect, in terms of consistency. So for me here, I lean over. I like the game over. You get a Diamondbacks team who's not really hitting the ball well right now, but against a guy like Waldron who throws a knuckleball, the secondary pitches aren't great. So I think this could be a really good spot for them to kind of get the bats going. And the other side, Ryan Nelson is just a gasoline can, truthfully. Against this Padres team, he's going to put guys on, and they can absolutely mash against this kid. So I like the over here. I think they probably clear it pretty easy. I think we see these bullpens, pretty quick. Give me runs. The last one on this slate is the San Francisco Giants taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. This is Logan Webb versus Taijuan Walker. I think you have to back the Phillies here. Logan Webb, it's well known how good he is home, but on the road, he's a bit of a fade, truthfully. Ray is, I believe, almost a full 2 runs higher career-wise. And as much as I don't like Taijuan Walker, this Giants team is just not hitting well. So give me the Phillies here. I think they can, get the bats going against Webb. Obviously, it's, Logan Webb could easily come out and, get 25 ground balls, and this game ends up, 1-0. But I think the Phillies come out on top. Taijuan Walker, he looked pretty good in his first start. A little rusty, which I think was to be expected, but pitched pretty deep into the game and should be good to go here. This Giants team, like I said, not hitting the ball well at all. So give me the Phillies. That does conclude our slate. If you guys could do me a favor, if you could drop a like, drop a comment. I'd love to hear what your guys' plays are, what you guys are liking. As always, you can find all my plays at goldboys.com. And if you have a gambling problem, dial 1-800-GAMBLER. See you guys.